by Camden County Department of Public Works. Today is June 30th, and this presentation will also be posted on the Camden County website so that other people who aren't in attendance tonight can log on and view it in the future. My name is Kevin Bessica. I'm the Camden County engineer, and Camden County has federal funds through Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, DVRPC, to do safety improvements throughout Camden County. Camden County has decided to use this money to improve roadway safety with guide rail. So in order to do that, we have hired GPI engineers, specifically Dale Foster and Charles Calamer, who are going to do the presentation tonight on the roadway safety improvement project. And I'll just turn it over to Charles just to go through some of the housekeeping efforts. Go ahead, Charles.
So we just wanted to let you know, while you are listening and viewing from the public, just to keep your microphone muted as much as possible. If you need to say something, you can use a microphone, but we also have a chat box. And if you use the chat box, that would be much more appreciated to avoid stepping over each other and any feedback that might be caused. And from there, Dale's going to go into the project and talk about everything that we were putting together today.
Thank you, Chuck. Welcome to the Virtual Public Information Center for the Roadway Safety Improvement Project, located along various locations on Evesham Road in Cherry Hill and Voorhees Township and Whitehorse Road in Voorhees Township. As Kevin had mentioned, this presentation is being recorded and will be posted on the Camden County Public Works website for a period of approximately 2 weeks. During this live event, you're encouraged to submit questions and comments using the chat feature or interrupting us to answer something at that point. There's also a survey form that's available on the Camden County Public Works website to fill out for information, and if you have any questions after this presentation is over. The public input period closes on July 14th. This presentation is about 15 to 20 minutes long. During the presentation, we will locate the improvement sites, describe existing conditions, explain proposed improvements, and summarize cost and impacts. As Kevin had mentioned, this is a federally funded program. It's funded through the Federal Highway Administration, commonly referred to as FHWA. The project is being developed through the local lead program of New Jersey Department of Transportation, Division of Local Aid and Economic Development. It's a cooperative venture that includes partnership by FHWA, New Jersey Department of Transportation, Delaware Regional Planning Commission, and the program will be administered by New Jersey Department of Transportation Local Aid. Camden County was successful in securing federal funds for the engineering, design, construction, and construction inspection. The funding for this project can only be used for the scope of work described in the original grant application, and the funds cannot be applied anywhere else. Project was originated by Camden County to update existing guide rail systems on heavily traveled roadways to the latest guide rail standards adopted by New Jersey Department of Transportation, and to evaluate other sites for potential roadway hazard that warrant guide rails. In January of 2019, New Jersey Department of Transportation updated their guide rail standards to conform to the Midwest guide rail system. Therefore, we had to do an assessment of the existing guide rail systems and design improvements that are in general conformance with New Jersey Department of Transportation updated design guidance. Just to give you a couple of ideas of some of the revisions, They are now setting the guide rail height 4 inches higher than what it used to be. And that's mainly due to the number of SUVs and trucks that are being sold in the United States. Whereas before it was, the mix was greater cars, but no longer is that the case. We are also amending end treatments and revising curb heights to a maximum of 4 inches. As previously mentioned, the guide rail improvements are planned for various sites along Evesham Road and Whitehorse Road in Cherry Hill and Voorhees Township. The project evaluated 12 sites for guide rail improvements. 10 of the sites had existing guide rail installations and 2 sites had no guide rail. Each site was analyzed to determine if guide rail was warranted, and the existing installations were compared to current guide rail standards. Some sites were eliminated from this project due to permitting requirements, right-of-way implications, and budgetary constraints. Improvements are planned for 9 sites. Guide rail design was performed to avoid requiring easements, right-of-way relocations, while minimizing environmental impacts. Sites are numbered on the display boards that were posted on the County Public Works website for this project. Sites 1, 2, and 7 were eliminated from the contract. This is Site 3 at milepost 7.7 on Evesham Road westbound between Haddonfield Road and Springdale Road, more specifically between Glen Drive and Dale Drive in Cherry Hill Township. The work consists of installing a new tangent guide rail terminal at the east end, which is shown here, replacing the existing concrete curb with new 4-inch reveal. The existing curb is anywhere from 6 to 8 inches of reveal, and restoring the area that's disturbed by the construction activity. Work at Site 4, which is immediately across the street from Site 3, is again at milepost 7.7 on Evesham Road eastbound between Haddonfield Road and Springdale Road, more specifically between Glen Drive and Dale Drive in Voorhees Township. The work consists of replacing existing and extending the guide rail westward to Glen Drive, installing a new tangent guide rail terminal at the west end of the project, closest to Glen Drive, installing a new crash cushion at the location of where the pump station is for the MUA, which is at this location where the arrow is being shown. Replacing the existing concrete vertical curb with new 4-inch curb and a depressed curb at the pump station driveway. Replacing the concrete gutter in this area. Replacing the drainage inlet casting curb piece, because right now they're set for a 6 or 8-inch high curb. They have to be brought down to a 4-inch curb, and also conform with the latest stormwater management regulations, and restoring the area disturbed by construction. Due to the MUA pump station driveway, the guide rail here is in 2 sections. Work at Site 5, which is located at milepost 7.96 on Evesham Road westbound between Haddonfield Road and Springdale Road, more specifically between Prestwick Drive and Springdale Road in Cherry Hill Township, consists of replacing existing and extending the guide rail eastward toward Springdale Road, which is here in front of the farm with the white fencing, installing a new tangent guide rail terminal at the east end, which is replacing this terminal end, installing beam guide rail anchorage, which would be at the far end of the guide rail, installing or replacing the existing concrete curb with new 4-inch reveal curb and a depressed curb across the front of the driveway, replacing the drainage inlet casting curb piece, restoring the area disturbed by construction. This guide rail installation again is broken up into 2 sections because of the driveway, which has masonry pillars within the clear zone and also a utility pole that's also in the clear zone. Both of those represent hazards when designing guide rails. Site 6, again, is immediately across the street, located at milepost 7.96 on Isham Road, between Prestwick Drive and Springdale Road in Voorhees Township. Consists of replacing the existing guide rail, installing a new terminal guide rail end, installing new beam guide rail anchorage at the east end, which is this end of the guide rail, replacing the existing concrete curb with new 4-inch curb, replacing the drainage inlet casting curb piece, and restoring the area disturbed by construction. Site 8 is located at milepost 7.07 on Whitehorse Pike northbound between Haddonfield, Berlin Road and Isham Road, more specifically between Crestwick Drive and Isham Road in Voorhees Township.
Sorry, Dale, it's Whitehorse Road, not Whitehorse Pike. Very
sorry.
different. Very different.
Sorry about that. Yes, Whitehorse Road northbound. Sorry. The work consists of installing a new guide rail system where none exists today to shield errant vehicles from the concrete culvert head wall and the deep drainage ditch, which is shown here in the pictures below. This is about a 5-foot drop off at this location, maybe a little bit more. I believe the pipe is 5 feet. Installing a tangent guide rail terminal at the south end and installing an anchorage terminal at the north end. And due to conflicts with the culvert pipe, we have to install a reinforced concrete slab and anchor the guide rail to the concrete slab because we cannot drive post where the culvert pipe is. Replacing the existing curb through here with new 4-inch curb, replacing the drainage inlet, casting curb piece, and restoring the area disturbed by construction. Moving on to Site 9, we go back up onto Isham Road. Site 9 is located at milepost 9.50, westbound between Cooper Road and Crescent Road, more specifically between Lapley Court and Main Street in Cherry Hill Township. This work consists of replacing the existing concrete vertical curb with new 4-inch curb and a depressed curb across the driveway, replacing the drainage inlet casting curb pieces, relocating the mailbox from the west side of the driveway to the east side of the driveway, so it's out of the guide rail, replacing existing shrubs with new shrubs to the east side of the driveway, and restoring the area disturbed by construction. Unfortunately, guide rail design standards do not permit trees or shrubs within 12 feet of the back edge of the guide rail in a recovery zone. At this site, 12 feet is roughly the location of the existing fence here. Moving on, Site 10 is across the road from Site 9 at milepost 9.5 on Isham Road eastbound between Cooper Road and Crescent Road, more specifically between Lapley Court and Main Street in Voorhees Township. Consists of replacing the guide rail, installing a new tangent guide rail terminal at the west end, which is shown here, installing beam guide rail anchorage on the east end, which would be the far end of the guide rail, replacing the existing concrete vertical curb with new 4-inch curb, replacing the drainage inlet casting curb piece, and restoring the area disturbed by construction. Moving on to Site 11, which is at milepost 10.67 on Isham Road westbound between Crescent Road and Route 73, more specifically between Bentonwood Drive and Peregrine Drive in Cherry Hill Township. This work consists of extending the existing guide rail eastward, installing a new tangent guide rail terminal end, replace this terminal end, replacing the existing concrete vertical curb with new 4-inch reveal curb, replacing the drainage inlet casting curb pieces, and restoring the area disturbed by construction. And the last work site is Site 12, located at milepost 10.67 on Easham Road eastbound, across the street from Site 11, more specifically between Bentonwood Drive and Peregrine Drive in Voorhees Township. There, once again, this has got the guide rail is broken up into two sections because of the driveway to the MUA pump station here. So we are replacing the existing guide rail and extending it westward. We're installing a new terminal, tangent guide rail terminal at the west end of both sections of guide rail. Installing a beam guide rail anchorage at the east end, which is the far end of the guide rail. Replacing the concrete curb with new 4-inch reveal curb and a depressed curb across the driveway. Replacing drainage inlets with new, bigger double B inlets, which are twice the size of the existing, and restoring the area disturbed by construction. All these sites are shielding errant vehicles from going off the road and going into the ditch where culverts exist underneath the road. Permits. Work has been designed so as to fall under the fall under New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection permit by Rule 41, which authorizes the placement of guide rail adjacent to a lawfully existing public road and following certain conditions, such as the ones listed here. The guide rail is required and overseen by a public entity with jurisdiction over the roadway. No riparian zone vegetation is cleared, cut, or removed within 4 feet of the guide rail, and no trees are cleared, cut, or removed from the riparian zone within 25 feet of the top of bank. In most cases, the guide rail is being replaced in the same location as existing and without the placement of non-vegetative surface under the guide rail, which is typically installed to control vegetation and soil erosion at these locations. A soil erosion sediment control certification is required from Camden County Soil Conservation District due to the disturbance of more than 5,000 square feet of land. Where a curb is being replaced, a 2-foot section of asphalt pavement is being removed to allow for the placement of concrete forms, and this strip will be resurfaced upon removal of the forms. Since this project will receive Federal Highway Administration funding, the project must comply with federal requirements for minimizing impacts to historic resources. This is referred to as Section 106 process. New Jersey Department of Transportation will lead the Section 106 process for this project, which includes the following steps. Initiate the 106 process, which basically establishes the undertaking for which this project consists of the proposed improvements. Identify historic properties or features. For this project, they include the Gilmore House or the Holly Ravine Farm and the Inskeep Homestead. It's a farm historic district. They will assess adverse impact of the improvements on the historic features, resolve adverse impacts or effects of the improvements on the historic feature by avoiding, minimizing, and mitigating. Public input is requested as part of the consultation with New Jersey State Historic Preservation Office. And further information about the Section 106 process is available by the link that's indicated here on this slide. It's a citizen guide on what the 106 process consists of. As far as the Gilmore Holly Ravine farm parcel, this parcel is located within the proposed work area for milepost 7.96 on Easham Road westbound between Haddonfield, Berlin Road, and Springdale Road, which is site number 5. This is, to give you orientation, this is where the Wawa is and ShopRite is here. Okay, the work is limited. The guide rail work is limited to the replacement of existing guide rail and concrete curb in the county road right of way, and the impact to the historic feature is minimal because it's contained within the road right of way. The other site is the Innskeep Homestead and the Farm Historic District. This parcel is located within the proposed work area of milepost 10.67 on Easham Road westbound between Crescent Road and Route 73, which I believe is Site 11. The work, again, is limited to the replacement of existing guide rail and concrete curb within the concrete road right-of-way, and the impact to the historic feature, again, is very minimal. Construction impacts. The roadway section where these improvements are planned have at least 2 lanes in each direction of travel with no shoulders. Therefore, work under this contract will require the closure of the right lane. Sometimes the closure will extend for several days and nights because of the need to keep them in place for a while we're replacing the curb and the forms and not having enough work area there to do the work. Lane closures will be limited to weekdays. Project cost. The estimated cost of this project is approximately $600,000. Costs are to be reimbursed with federal funds through New Jersey Department of Transportation, Local Aid District 4 office. The anticipated schedule. Currently, the project is in the final design phase. Remaining activities include completing the public involvement process, which is what we're involved in right now, securing authorization for construction, and making final revisions to the contract documents. Construction is anticipated to occur during the spring of 2022 and should take about 3 to 4 months to complete. You are encouraged to provide input and suggestions about the proposed improvements to the project team using the survey form, where the link to the form is on the Camden County Public Works website. Please be sure to submit the form during the comment period, which closes on July 14, 2021. This presentation was recorded, and the recording of this presentation will be posted on the Camden County Public Works website. Hopefully tomorrow. It will be done as a YouTube video, and it gives you the opportunity to also add comments and questions on that YouTube video. We are open to questions and comments at this time if you want to provide any. And we'll remain on the line to respond.
Linda, you can unmute if you have any questions.
Hi, Kevin. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time. All my questions were answered.
Do you live next to one of the sites?
No, but I have the school buses for Cherry Hill Public Schools that will be going through that area while construction is in play.
Okay, and we do not anticipate closing the roads. Although there may be a lane shift, it should be less than the experience in the last several months with South Jersey Gas. And I hope to see South Jersey Gas do the pavement restoration on Evesham Road shortly.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda, for joining us.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, you too.
With that, I think we can close this presentation. We do not have any other questions from anybody, and I hope we do get some survey results or some questions from participants who watch the video. With that, thank you very much, Dale. Thank you, Charles, and everyone take care.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. Stay cool.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.